I'll go first. So I hope you can all hear me. My name is Ron Anand. I'm glad to meet you all virtually. Welcome to this presentation. I'll be talking about the politics department. I'm the chair of the politics department, have been for the last 3 years. And I want to tell you a little bit about our program, how it works, and what it's like sort of to be in our program. Politics is all about how society functions and how it doesn't function. It's all about powers and rules and governance, not just institutions, but how different bodies of people, different individuals and groups of people relate to one another, and basically how they exercise power and domination over each other, at the same time looking at how we can create a more just society. We can create a more idealistic society, and figuring out the ways that we can do that. The politics department or the politics major is broken down into 4 major sub-areas. Those are American politics, having to do everything with politics in the United States. International politics, which has to do with countries and how they relate to one another. 2 major areas in international relations are trade and commerce, finance, the money side of international relations, and then peace and security, war and peace, those issues. So there's American politics, international politics. Another 3rd area we have is comparative politics, where we're looking at different political systems and we're comparing them with each other so we can understand sort of how politics goes down within countries, not so much the relations between them. And then finally, we have political theory, which is really political philosophy, thinking about all of the different ideologies, all of the different ways of thinking, principles of politics. So in those 4 major areas, we have an introductory course in each of those. So when you come to St. Mary's, you take an introduction over your first couple of years, making sure that you have each of those areas covered. We also have a writing and research course that is aimed at sophomores, that helps you learn how to write research papers at the university level, so that when you're in your upper division classes in your junior and senior years, that you can do a good job. And it's a course that I like teaching, that I'm actually teaching right now. And so you take that's Politics 100, you take that your sophomore year. And then you've got 8 more classes to take, 1 upper division class in each of the 4 subfields, and then 4 extra classes, 4 electives. If you like to take electives in international relations, if that's your thing, you can take all of them there. You can spread them out. You can do all American politics, however you want to do it. As far as our majors end up, well, a lot of them will end up going on to law school. I would say maybe a third to maybe even a half. It's a very common sort of pre-law, although we don't have a specific pre-law program. A lot of our majors will go on to do that, but we find a lot of our majors also going on to do a lot of other things, working in nonprofits, working in politics. I have a couple of graduates who are working inside the Capitol building in Sacramento, have worked for our local Congress representative, Mark DeSagne, as well as our local state representatives. So some of them go into politics, a lot of them go into business, a lot of them go into journalism. There's a lot of different things that you can do with a politics major. But I'm going to leave it for there. Hopefully that gives you sort of a little bit of an overview and not too long of a time. I want to have time for my colleagues to present, and then I can address questions to you later on. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Professor Anand, perhaps it's an easy segue to history. Let me give a brief introduction and turn things over for color commentary by my colleague, Professor Santiago. So the history department here offers courses in the critical understanding of the past, to see how the diversity of peoples have responded to human events, even crises, and to make this knowledge available to others. We have areas of specialization: Asia, with a particular emphasis in China; Latin America, with an emphasis in Mexico, especially the oil fields there; modern Europe, 19th century nursing; United States history, Civil War, and also women in labor and African American history; and then early European history, emphasis on medieval monastic and cultural history. Professor Santiago.
Thank you, Brother Charles. McKenna Decker is also with us from the History Department, one of our students who has also recently completed an internship at the Smithsonian, so she'll tell you a little bit about that. I think one of the special things about the History Department at St. Mary's College is that we're small, like a lot of other departments. There's only 6 of us with a variety of areas of expertise, but we have built a curriculum that pushes all of our students to have a global perspective before you finish your degree. So while you can choose to specialize in 2 areas of the world, we